good evening, and welcome to Geeks Assemble. And tonight we are taking a journey into the supernatural, sublime of the mind of the director William Castle. And this movie we are discussing is from 1959, starring Vincent Price. It has become a cult classic. It also had a 1999 remake starring Jeffrey Rush in the main. Actually, Ethan's putting the thumbs down, but it is quite a good movie. The remake.
I have seen it. It's okay when it's got full-on ghosts, but there's a reason why I like this one better, which I'll get into.
But we are talking the original. We are talking House on Haunted Hill, where several people are gathered together in a house who don't know each other, apparently, and are offered money to stay the full night, without trying to get out of the house. Things are not all what they seem, shall we say. So, without further ado, we'll go opening thoughts on the original 1959 House on Haunted Hill. Who should we go with first? Who wants to go first? Oh, look at that. They're all go on then, Ethan. You put your finger up.
Yeah.
Not for the first time I've heard, but there you go. Over to you, Ethan.
All right then. Right. It was actually really nice to watch this again. Just sit down and watch a good classic horror film, especially if it's Vincent Price. I mean, that's something that the remake lacked. Vincent Price. One word, Vincent Price.
But the Jeffrey Rush character was called, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Price.
Yeah, based on Vincent Price.
Yeah, it was a sort of a little tribute to Vincent Price. Back to you.
From what I remember of the original, from what I remember of the remake, it was round about that time where, for some reason, Hollywood remade all these horror films, didn't they? Like black and white horror films. They remade them, like The Haunting, 13 Ghosts. They just remade them for some reason that time. Mm-hmm. But for me, I prefer the music, why it's more atmospheric, and it just has a great atmosphere.
Yep. Yeah.
But whereas the remake, it's a small cast, great cast, by the way. It keeps playing with your mind, and that's something The Haunting. You're not quite sure, is there something there, or is it all in the mind? But obviously that's what this film does. They're all brought together to this house for a little game by Vincent Price's character, who I swear every time he comes in, the whole country just stops in silence as soon as he speaks. He's that awesome. He is one of the original Mr. Cool voice, cool looks, cool suits. He's just cool everything. And even my brother, who I've mentioned before, and at times Henry, who would be great at talking about movies. Vincent Price is his favorite actor. He's just, everything he does, Vincent Price, even if it's like a movie that's really rubbish, he just brings in the light. He just gets the power going. Because it's Vincent Price. But anyway, he gets these guys together, and the whole place shuts down at midnight, or in this case, it shuts just before midnight. And the place is haunted. As one of the guests says, he knows the house very well because he lost a couple people there who were murdered. They got cut into pieces. They couldn't find the heads. But as it turns out, in a way, it's all twists, Like 1 minute you think it's a ghost, and then it turns out it's a simple magic trick. It's both, it's sort of a ghost, like a trapped in a haunted house movie slash heist movie.
Yeah.
Heist ready to murder movie. I mean, one of my, I'll get to favorite scenes later. I've only picked about maybe 3 scenes because I don't want to obviously overtake everybody's favorite thing.
Not like you always do.
Yeah, I'm learning. But I think that's just what I love about the originals. Like I said, the remake, from what I remember, it's okay, but I think they just want, a lot of the remakes they did back then was it has to be ghosts. Ghosts are really there. They're actually, whereas in the original, it's more psychological because you're not sure, like The Haunting. It's all in the woman's mind. She's just that messed up, but you're not quite sure, is there something there? Or is it just her being deranged? Like even The Shining, you know, they did a remake of The Shining, like a mini series I did, which was okay. And that was a straight up ghost story. But I always felt with the original Shining, it doesn't really quite say, is it ghosts or is it Jack's deranged mind? Or is it something more? You're never quite sure what it is. And that makes it more scary. That makes it more creepy. And again, with this one, as it ends, you're not quite sure, is there something that's watching them? Because there was a few unanswered questions, like they find one of the heads and that was it, really. You're thinking, where did that come from? So you're wondering, hold on a minute, was there something there watching them play out this game? That's just one theory. I like to theorize that, but of course it's just all a game, really. But you're never quite sure, especially with that gentleman at the end, like he's saying, like, oh, that's 2 more. There's 2 more added to the place. So you're never quite sure. But like I said, it's a great twist with Vincent Price's wife. She's hitting on this other guy, and they're planning. There's some really great, creepy moments in this. I mean, you've got the classic lady on a skateboard. Now, I know it's like an acquired taste, like people saying, oh, it's black and white, she's just on a skateboard. But you know what? I still fucking love it. I still love it. You're just her coming on the skateboard, just but it's got some really good twists and turns, this movie, and it's a classic. It's a cult classic, or even just a classic. But it's a great old-fashioned campy horror film, because it does have some campy moments in it. But yeah, it's one of those films I enjoy watching. It's just and I still, one of those films I do prefer the original. So yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, it's Vincent Price. You know, you can't go wrong with him. You can never go wrong with Vincent Price.
No, you can't really. No,
you can't really. You know, even if it's a cruddy movie, you know, he'll come in and it still brightens up a bit more because you're like, oh, it's Vincent Price. We're in luck. We're saved.
Yeah.
Even though they're not saved, but he saved us, the audience. But yeah, I do enjoy this film. Actually, it's one of those black and white films I love to watch. I love the atmosphere and everything. So yeah, great Vincent Price classic. Great film. Those are my opening thoughts.
Thank you, Ethan. And we'll move swiftly over to Susan. Over to you.
Well, you guys were mentioning the character of Price being named after Vincent Price, and these characters are Frederick Loren and Annabelle Loren. And my question is, are they named after Sophia Loren? Because wasn't she a young starlet at the time?
Well, this was 1959. So,
yeah, super popular, super.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah. Anyway, so apparently, Annabelle and Lance had this whole thing planned out, and it was really, really scary for Watson Pritchard, because Watson Pritchard, played by Elisha Cook Jr. I mean, he's an old character actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Barney Miller. He was in a bunch of other things that I've seen. He's been a great staple of film and television. And anyway, he was eating the scenery with us. This was really amazing. I mean, it really. He looked so tormented throughout the whole dang thing. It was so great. Anyway, yeah, so I agree with Ethan. It's both. Is there something there? Is this a really super haunted house? Because they said it was a really super haunted house, and so there must have been some ghosts. They just needed one of those EMF devices to register ghostly specter or protoplasm or whatever. Yeah, so the thing about this is that that was before they had developed that device. All they had was themselves, and these people were offered money, and it was sort of like what would you do for $10,000? And would you sit there and watch people get tortured and stuff? And
I would love to get stuck in a house with Vincent Price. He'd be the best conversationalist ever.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Sit down and have a drink with Vincent Price. That'd be amazing.
That would be. And credited in the cast was the skeleton as himself.
Yeah, that was great. I burst out laughing at that bit. The skeleton as himself. That's the real twist of the movie. That's the real twist of the movie. It's like the skeleton. It was him.
Yep.
So I was right. There was something there.
Seriously, yes, right. And the house was one of those ginormous mansions, and you could tell it was all California, because not only was it sort of Victorian in one part, but then there was like this whole, big.
It was quite modern. It was quite modern for the time outside, wasn't it? Even
No,
for that.
it was like it was Victorian on that one part, and then this colonnade, which is so California. Oh my God, if you're gonna have a beautiful house in California, you gotta have a colonnade. Anyway, so, but they do have a lot of paranormal activity in California too. So yeah, it was really fun, and Vincent Price was amazing, and as was his co-star Carol Omart. And it was the second time this weekend that with a co-star named Carol. The first one that we reviewed was the audio adventure with his wife.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, Carol.
You got Carol, and there was Coral.
Oh, Coral Brown. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the vowels flipped. It's just my dyslexia. Anyway, moving on. Like, I really liked it, and I really thought that it was beautiful. I saw an HD version of it, which was great. Oh my gosh, it was on YouTube. You guys can find it. It's so beautiful. Anyway, please do watch it and enjoy it. And back over to you, Lee.
Thank you both. Where to start with? It is a cult classic. It's Vincent Price in one of his best movies. I was going to say he's not playing the villain, but he is villainous. He's nasty towards his wife, very nasty towards his wife. But there again, she is nasty towards him. The marriage is not a solid marriage. He knew his wife was having an affair with somebody else. Well, he must have known it was the doctor because he invited the doctor. The doctor was invited to the house, so he knew. And his wife and the doctor were planning the murder of Vincent Price's character. So, it's a very intrigue and really well thought out plot. As you say about the house, it's very, for 1959, it was very modernized outside, but as soon as you walk inside, it's so old fashioned. And as Ethan says, were the ghosts there? Because Pritchard was saying, there's nine ghosts now, but I think this was alluding to William Castle's next movie in 1960, which was called 13 Ghosts. I think he was sort of alluding to, his next movie is going to be 13 Ghosts, but the movies aren't really connected. But
perhaps same universe.
Yeah. So I think that's what he was sort of alluding to. There's more ghosts now, but next movie is going to be 13 Ghosts.
And that's when you'll see them.
Yeah, I mean, as Ethan said, there was a spate in the late 90s, early 2000s of these remakes, and they did remake quite a few of William Castle's movies. So this one, 13 Ghosts. There was another one as well. I can't remember what it was called. But which they did a good job on the remakes, but you can never beat the originals. And it's so, I won't say camp, but the acting is not camp, but it's a bit corny sometimes, with a lot of screaming in this by a couple of women. As with the heads, as Ethan mentioned, the heads were planted in the cupboard and in the suitcase by either the wife or the doctor, because they wanted to send that woman mad. Their plan was to send that woman mad so she would kill Price's character. That was their plan all along. But he knew what they were up to all along. And he was thinking ahead, filling the guns with blank bullets. And it's such an intriguing story. It's just amazing. As you say, the old woman on the skateboard, it's very effective. As you say, it's not a skateboard, but it's the way she just glides along the floor.
Yeah, it's great. It's still great.
I mean, that's a classic scene in it where there's just the face and the hands in the candlelight, just amazing. But I agree with what you've said, before. Price just, I don't know. He could just go into a scene. For me, he could read a phone directory, and he would make the scene just astounding if he was just reading out phone numbers. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was really enjoyable to watch this again. I watched the HD version as well. There is a colorized version, but why go colorized when it was meant to be black and white?
It's a black and white.
Yeah. So shall we go to favourite moments or things you weren't so keen on? Let's go back Susan and then back to Ethan. So over to you, Susan.
Okay, my favorite moments were I loved it when they were in the wine in the wine pit, basically, where all the casts were, and there was they were like looking between the doors, trying to figure out if there was like extra space or some hidden compartment or something, and trying to figure out where, and that whole, Mrs. Slides, and her name was Mrs. Slides. So she, Like
But-
she,
You just mentioned that where they're tapping on the walls and it's hollow. That was never answered, was it?
no,
Yeah, that was just never answered.
no, and you could tell it was less than 3 feet. So there
Yeah.
was definitely a secret passage in there somewhere, and I think it, it's where the real ghosts are. Anyway, you just need an EMF device and a thermometer, because you have to be able to register if it gets cold. And I would suggest bringing salt. I've watched enough Supernatural. I know what the heck to do. Anyway, if you're getting paid a lot of money to stay in a haunted house, I would definitely bring some stuff. There's some precautions you could take with this, with the post alive people. Anyway, I liked Carolyn Manning. She was a good actress. So she was a bit like all my favorite Doctor Who people: Bonnie Langford, Carol Ann Ford, and some others. Throughout the years, there was a lot of screaming, but a lot of really cool moments with her.
I
And
didn't realize that she passed away so young.
yeah, she was gone early.
36.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought she was a Batman for some reason. I was just like, but that's somebody else. Anyway, she's really cool actress. Anyway, so I would say that another favorite moment is him pulling the skeleton out of the acid bath or whatever.
Yeah.
And that whole thing. And so those two are really have to be my favorite moments in this. I loved oh, and I loved it when he's adjusting her hanging harness, the wife's hanging harness.
Yeah.
That was the only intimate moment between the two of them. So it was fun. Anyway, back over to you.
We'll move swiftly over to Ethan.
Okay, well, I've picked out three. There's a lot of moments I like in this, but I picked out three favorite moments and two honorary mentions.
Don't flip us off.
Two, sorry, I didn't realize it was the wrong way.
Oh yeah. Right.
I'll do the list away too. Right.
Good.
I mentioned, it's a classic. It's the entire scene in the wine, but when it builds up to the introduction of the old blind lady, where it's such an effective effect. Just it again, like I've mentioned before. What one was it we did, which was black and white? It was a horror, Nosferatu. I love black and white because there's something about black and white that makes it more atmospheric, and even the music, how it sounds old, just much more creepy.
Yeah.
And even if someone says, oh, that's such an old effect and stuff like that, it's still bloody effective because the atmosphere and the music and the way the black and white makes their faces look like the dark lines under their eyes and stuff like that. It's just such a creepy style. And something I really like as well, just atmosphere and very artistic looking. But that old woman, and even the reveal of her being one of the servants, is you're just one of the many twists in the movie where you think it's a ghost. No, we just pulled it. It's this. And speaking of creepy moments, actually, I think one of the creepiest moments actually is when Carol, what's her name? Vincent Price's wife, Carol Omart.
Yeah, no, but Annabelle Lauren.
Yeah, her character, Annabelle Lauren, Carol Omar. It's the bit when Nora is in that bedroom and the rope comes through the window and goes round her leg, and you just see her floating there, and it's just the lightning. It's like they do that sort of stop effect where it's like she's floating a bit, then it's suddenly doom, doom. It's just such a creepy effect, the way the lighting and all that looks. And then, of course, she disappears, and Nora runs out and sees her hanging there, just looking straight at the camera as if she's looking right at you. Again, I'm going to refer to Nosferatu here. I love it when they do that in all black and white films because it adds to the creepiness. When, like Nosferatu, when he came out of his coffin for the first time, he's looking right at you, and you're like, "What are you looking at me for?" He's coming for you. But that's what she looks like, just looking straight at you into your eyes. And it was just such a chilling scene with the black and white, everything. Bloody great. I love it when they do that. It's just, sometimes the old ways are the effective.
Yeah.
But it was great. I mean, and as Susan's mentioned, I love all the twists in this film where you think it's a ghost, but it's not. It's something very simple. I mean, I love the skeleton scene, just the skeleton coming out the acid. And it's great when you watch it the first time because you are thinking, okay, it is haunted, it is haunted. But then again, it just slaps you in the face and goes, no, it's Vincent Price. And it's just great how he controls it. He just goes, poor girl. You know, he just has such a charm, a sadistic charm. But that, I just love that bit, and that just wraps up everything, really, the whole movie. My two honorary mentions: every scene Vincent Price does, is just fucking amazing. He's a master. He's a god. And I bet Lee knows what I'm about to say for my other one, Carol Omart's introduction scene. If only women could still dress and look like that. Hopper. And to quote Yakko Warner, hello, nurse. She looks gorgeous when Vincent Price is like, are you ready, my darling? And then she comes out all gorgeous with the hair and the top and everything. I don't think that dress is good for a party. But I was like, I don't care what she dresses as. She looked great. One of the original classic ultra hot ladies.
Ultra.
And then she fell into acid.
Ultra hot vixens.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. Ultra hot vixens. And she played the part well. She was so conniving and great. And I loved those ladies in the old movies where they, proper femme fatales. If you be it horror or noir, I love the proper femme fatales vixens, where they're just so beautiful. But my God, they're conniving as anything. They really play their games, and they're just great. They show how clever they can be, how conniving and backstabbing they can be, and just adds the more fun to the twists. So yeah, those are my honorary mentions and favorite moments.
Well, thank you. Let's see what you've left me with, shall we? Not a lot.
I'm sure I've left you something.
Going back to what you said about the rope coming through the window, going around the leg. If this was all fake and she was on a harness, which said, she was a hanging harness, so she was hung outside the window on a harness, being operated by the doctor above.
How did she get there that quick?
No, but how does the rope go around her legs?
Yeah. Again, it's that whole ghost thing. Like,
Yeah,
Hold on. If
unanswered.
you watch, it's one of those things you watch again, you go, hold on a minute, how did that work? And then you think, wait,
Yeah.
what?
And also, as you've mentioned, how quick did she get from outside that window to be hanging on the staircase? Because Norma ran out that room.
And she's right there.
Yeah. So that, I know it's a movie, but
But it's a clever one. It's a clever one that makes you think, was that one of the illusions of the house?
Could be. And you've mentioned the skeleton. That was so well done because the skeleton coming out the acid and walking across the room towards her, you could not see any strings.
Yeah.
No strings.
Yeah.
Brilliant. The only time you could see the strings was when Vincent Price was revealed with his contraption with all the strings.
Yep.
So that was so well done. I did like the beginning as well with the introduction from Pritchard. Was his name Pritchard?
Yes. That was great.
Just the head, and then Vincent Price's head, just talking about the party his wife has organised, and I did like that intro, and they all had to arrive in pairs. That was so good, and all the guns were in little coffins on the table.
Yeah.
So macabre and out there, and sublime.
That was really amazing. And then the fact that he shot one and then he kept that one or something.
Yeah. But I've got to agree. Also as well, I'll go back to what I was just going to say, but also as well, it was not answered who hit the pilot across the head in the dark room.
What did you do?
Who hit the pilot across the head when he was in the dark room, locked in that room? No.
Again, that doesn't get explained.
Was that one of the ghosts? Because it can't be the old woman because she was too busy skateboarding across the room.
That's what I just thought.
But yeah, so that was not really answered. So you could put that down to the real ghosts. And then going back to Vincent Price just lighting up the screen every time he's on there. He doesn't even have to open his mouth to use his voice. When he's just skulking around the corridors or coming out of his room, the looks, he just opens his door and he's looking around the corridor. It's just the way he can control, how he could control the way his eyes darted about, his facial features, just oozed that
he's got such a presence.
Yeah, you know he was up to no good.
Yeah.
But I just like the plot of the wife and her lover trying to bump off their husband, while the husband knows that they're trying to do that. He's going to have them bumped off.
Yeah.
and all the while, you see, they planned to kill Price's character. He invited all the guests. The wife didn't invite them.
Mm-hmm.
He randomly invited these people. So how did the wife and the doctor know that it would be Nora who would snap? Because they didn't know her.
Well, they were going to torture anyone who was there,
Yeah, I suppose so.
They probably picked her because being the youngest, the youngest of the bunch of them, really, the easiest to get scared and the easiest to snap. Could have been that.
Yeah, I suppose so.
She's not only the youngest woman, she's the youngest of the guests. So her young mind is going to believe all this and go.
Yeah. I mean, these guests were supposedly picked randomly by Price's character. but he didn't randomly pick the doctor because he knew he was having an affair with his wife. But he was picked because of that reason. Nora worked in Price's company, but he'd never met her before.
Mhm.
And the pilot and the other woman, I don't think there was any connections at all, was there? So
The fighter pilot was there because, you know, he knew that he wouldn't be scared.
yeah, but if that's the case, if that's the case, why pick him to go there? Because he wanted people to be scared, didn't he?
Mm.
Fine.
That was the whole point.
I'll pick,
That was
I'll
the
pick him. I'll pick him because he's a young-looking, dashing hero type. He could be the hero of the bunch.
Yeah, I suppose so. But for me, it was that, you know, when you found out she's not dead, the wife, she's just pretending to be dead on the bed, and you think all that time, it all comes together. The doctor goes to the body first. She's dead. Carries her to the room. I thought, you know, you conniving bastard. But there again, when she's laid on the bed, you can see her chest moving.
Yeah.
You could see a bit of,
You can still see it moving. You're like, hold on a minute. She's dead. I don't think so.
Yeah. But
I'm not dead yet.
but
Sorry, I had to.
yeah, it's. I mean, it ended. The movie ended quickly as well. You know, there was not really for me. The ending of the movie was, you know, Price saying, "I am ready now to be judged of what I have done," and then walks up the stairs, and I'm thinking, well, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that I suppose just ends quite quickly, don't it?
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's such an enjoyable movie.
Oh, it is. It's great. And I tell you, yeah, it's great. It's a great film that fits that time because I kept thinking to myself, God, how well dressed they are. You know, how well dressed and cool they look. I mean, I would love it if some of that came back. You know, just the suits, just how fancy and eloquent and just cool looking they are.
Yeah.
In today's age, we'll just, here's one of the guests, some chap going, all right, yeah, how's it going? Wearing a t-shirt and a hoodie. Oh, great, this is what we got.
You got to admit most of the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
And 60s, they just had a cool style.
So well dressed, yeah. But
I mean, you've still got some people bring that back today, but yeah, they just back then they had such a.
But it also adds to the style of it when it's black and white.
Yeah, the style and
that crisp black and white image of a movie. And
yeah,
you know, yeah, it's just
the suits and the dresses and everything.
Yeah.
I would tell you though, if I was there from that time up till, you know, gone past midnight till 6 a.m, I would want something to eat.
She's dead. I don't give a shit if she's dead. Where's this turkey?
They had beverages. They had adult beverages.
That's all there was doing, drinking.
Drinking. She's dead. All right, okay.
You've asked me to stay in that all night in a haunted house. I can't leave till 6 a.m. We're locked in. Where's my tea? Well, I want something to eat.
Come on, there should be a roast chicken or something, mate.
What did make me laugh the point where Nora was screaming at the hanging wife on the stairs, and then that glove creature's hand came on the corner.
Oh yeah,
that made me giggle.
That was like proper B movie Doctor Who.
Now looking at it, you know that was the Doctor. So
yeah,
and also as well the Doctor's demise was so well done that the we got a trope of in darkness it happened. The action happened in the darkness. Like in sci-fi, we always get an invisible spaceship, or you know what I mean? We'll cut out a bit of the action, like that. Throwing him in the acid. We'll just make the screen blank.
Yeah.
But that added to the thing that you think, oh right, you had a bit of a and then splash.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you see that almost we were giving away that Price had survived, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't put it up there as a classic movie. I mean, it has got a B movie feel about it. But you've got Vincent Price in this, makes it a cult movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed every minute of this. It was good to watch this again. Anything else? What anybody'd like to say?
First time watching it.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Never watched the reboots either. So
I recommend you watch the remake just to see what you think of
the
what they did.
difference. Yeah. All right.
I mean, you can't go wrong. Jeffrey Rush as well. He's a great actor.
I gotta admit, yeah, I like Jeffrey Rush a lot. I do. I like Jeffrey Rush, and he did play that part quite well. And there's what's her name? Frank Jansen, Jean Grey from X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, she's in it as well. Yeah.
And Ali Larter, who I do like actually. I think Ali Larter's great.
Yeah. So I think we better go to final scoring. Do you think?
Sure.
Okay. Ethan.
I go for. Do you know what it is? It's a cult classic, as you said. It might not be rated as a classic, but it's a cult classic, and it is a classic Vincent Price movie. It's a great film. It's one of the great films I love to watch. That's from that time in black and white. So I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 guns and coffins. I do, yeah. I give it 10 out of 10 guns and coffins.
Thank you, Ethan. And over to Susan.
I will give this 8.5 severed heads out of 10 for all the ghosts that are there. And I just feel really, really good having watched this. It was really enjoyable.
Cool. For me, if a movie's got Vincent Price in this, the better the movie is for me. It could do no wrong for me. So for that reason, it's a cool black and white cult movie with an intriguing plot, a fun plot as well. I'm going to give it 10 acid burns out of 10.
10 what?
Acid burns out of 10. Oh.
Ooh.
That is our little review of House on Haunted Hill, the original version. So I'd like to thank Ethan. I'd like to thank Susan for sitting down, taking time out this week and watching this movie and talking about this movie today. You guys out there, please, you'll be watching this on YouTube. Please, if you haven't subscribe to the channel, and please press the bell notification button, because every time we put up a new video, a herd of cows come running through the living room. And also you'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, all the social media stuff. We're there. We're lurking about. And please leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the movie. Let us know what you'd like us to review or what you think of what we're doing on these casts, because we're always here to improve ourselves. Not that I need improving, the members do, because I'm so perfect.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
And
Nobody's perfect.
oh,
I'll tell you who is perfect. Vincent Price.
Perfect.
I got you
right.
there.
So this is the second review of our Vincent Price weekend. So stay tuned to the next review, which we're gonna
Ooh,
do
yeah.
in Vincent Price weekend. Hooray!
Right. So yeah, let us know. And if you want to be on our casts or in the group, just message us. Leave a message on the video on YouTube, messages on Facebook, because fresh blood. It's always lovely to have fresh blood. Yeah. But,
Yes, correct.
I'm sorry, but you just sounded like Mr. Ben then. Ethan. Yes, Smithers.
Yes.
So on that note, we will leave you and enjoy our output. Go and look at our playlist. What we've got over 1,000 now. We must have over 1,000 videos.
No, I think we've got like 700.
It seems like we've been doing it 1,000 years.
That's just because you're tired of us.
I'm not tired. I'm perfect. Tiredness doesn't go with perfect.
There you are. Yeah, I believe you. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say on that bombshell of my perfectness,
Right.
100%, of course.
Perfect, yes, man.
Right.
What are you trying to say to me?
Right.
Look at me. Perfect. You can't see any below that, but perfect.
There you are.
I don't want to see what below there.
Sure.
Below
For
there,
God's sake, man!
below there, I'm naked.
It's not
No,
the first
below
time I've been
there-
on cast with somebody who's done that.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
below there is Mr. Stay Puft naked.
The good old days.
The good old days.
But on that bombshell, we will leave you and hope to see you again. Please get in touch. So thank you again for watching. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Ethan. Until next time, be safe and stay away from those acid baths, of course. Bye for now.